Excellencies, distinguished delegates, students, and friends. It is an honor to address this social forum on the theme of education and the right to development. Education is central to the work of the UN Expert Mechanism on the Right to Development, which is a subsidiary body of the United Nations Human Rights Council, mandated to promote the right to development globally. At our recently concluded formal session, education was a central theme. Education has long been recognized not only as a human right standing on its own, but also a right that enables and amplifies all other rights. It is the cornerstone of human dignity, the basis for democratic participation, and the driver of sustainable development in the fullest sense: economic, social, cultural, and political. The Declaration on the Right to Development affirms that every person and all peoples are entitled to participate in, contribute to, and enjoy development in which all human rights and fundamental freedoms can be fully realized. The draft Covenant on the Right to Development, currently undergoing intergovernmental negotiations at the UN General Assembly in New York, calls on state parties to implement their duty to cooperate with each other in order to promote international educational cooperation. In today's context of widening inequalities, climate disruption, technological upheaval, and persistent conflict, the urgency of securing right-based education could not be more pressing. The right to development presents an inalienable human entitlement to conditions that expand the capacities of individuals and peoples. At its core are principles of participation, equity, and non-discrimination. Education is the most effective means by which these principles are translated into lived realities. It empowers individuals to participate actively and meaningfully in their communities and societies. It serves as the great equalizer, opening pathways that allow people to rise beyond circles of poverty and exclusion. When delivered in inclusive ways, education ensures that women and girls, as well as minorities, indigenous people, and persons with disability are not left in the margins of progress. Without universal and equitable education, the right to development remains abstract. With education, however, the right becomes concrete and transformative, enabling individuals and societies alike to build peace, to foster prosperity, and to safeguard the natural environment on which development depends. Education is often described as a multiplier right because it is indispensable to the enjoyment of all other rights. It equips citizens to increase civil and political freedom responsibly and to engage in full democratic life. It opens doors to decent work, fair wages, innovation, thereby strengthening economic rights. It nurtures cultural identity, sustains intergenerational knowledge, and fosters social cohesion, advancing cultural rights in an increasingly interconnected world. And by raising awareness of ecological interdependence, education equips communities to respond to climate crisis and to pursue sustainable development, thus reinforcing the emerging right to a healthy environment. This expansive role of education has been affirmed in recent multilateral frameworks, notably the Pact for the Future adopted in 2024, and also a clear message of investing in people, especially children and youth, that is essential to ending poverty, strengthening trust and social cohesion. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, even as the centrality of education is universally acknowledged, the ability of millions to enjoy this right is under severe threat. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed the widening inequalities, especially the digital divide, which left millions of marginalized children and youth disconnected from learning. Conflict and displacement, as we've already heard, continues to deny access to education for millions in war zones or refugee camps, perpetrating circles of vulnerability and exclusion. Climate change has disrupted education through extreme weather events while simultaneously demanding new curricula that can prepare learners for an uncertain future. Education remains one of the most powerful instruments for advancing justice. It is key to economic justice. It provides the knowledge and skills that allow individuals to break the chains of poverty and participate in labor markets. Yet, where access is stratified along lines of wealth and privilege, education can entrench inequality rather than eliminate it. For this reason, universal access to free and quality primary and secondary education, alongside pathways to affordable higher and vocational learning, remains a fundamental imperative. Education is intricately connected with self-determination and collective development. The right to development that affirms that all peoples have the right to self-determination, including sovereignty over their natural wealth and resources. Education strengthens this right by equipping communities with the knowledge and skills necessary to reclaim and exercise sovereignty over their heritage and their own future. For indigenous people, education has been both a tool of empowerment and historically a site of struggle. Too often, schools were used to assimilate and erase identities. A rights-based approach demands intercultural education that honors indigenous systems, languages, and peoples. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, permit me to close with a call to action. If education is the key to unlocking the right to development, then we must ensure that it is not captured by exclusion, commodification, or neglect. 3 guiding commitments can refocus our efforts. First, education must be universal, rights-based, and inclusive at all levels. Second, education must be financed justly with national and international resources mobilized to guarantee that it remains a global public good. Third, education must be transformative, preparing learners to advance peace, gender equality, climate justice, intercultural understanding, and democratic participation. Education is not only the foundation of the right to development, it is the foundation of freedom itself. It gives voice to the voiceless, power to the marginalized, and hope to future generations. In a world unsettled by turbulence and uncertainty, education remains our most reliable path to justice, equality, and peace. Let us therefore recommit ourselves at the social forum to ensuring that every child, every adult, in every corner of the world has the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to flourish. Only then can we realize the promise of the right to development and ensure a just future for all. I thank you.